Hello, everybody that's already joining. Good to see you all. As usual, we'll give those of you who've been with us before, we'll give a few more minutes to allow others to come online. Let's see, there we go. Thank you all. Those of you who've already joined us, thank you for joining us. You'll see the subject that we already given there. Hello, Pastor Linda. Pastor Mike. Give about another minute here and we'll I think Pastor Linda's asking you all to do that, correct, Pastor Linda? She's asking others to please share and tag. We'd appreciate that. All right, about another minute and we will get started with tonight's lesson. Hello, Minister Tara. All right, let's get going tonight's Bible study. Hello, Pastor Gwen. All right, let's get going tonight's Bible study. Tonight's Bible study is going to come from Daniel, the 3rd chapter. It's going to be Daniel, the third chapter is what we're going to look at. We'll tell you exactly where we focus in on that. But for a title tonight, we're going to call tonight's lesson non-coercible faith. Non-coercible faith. Okay? Coerce as in you coerce somebody. C-O-R-E-R-C-I-B-L-E. Non-coercible faith. Now, I am familiar that we could have said incoercible faith, but non-coercible faith works a lot better for me when I'm talking, okay? So we're going to call it non-coercible faith tonight. And that's what we're going to take a look at here when we look at it. All right? Now, for those of you who've been with us in Bible studies, it's a basic fundamental study. We take it from the Christian perspective. If that's not the perspective you're looking for, feel free to just leave this video alone and move right along. No sense wasting your time criticizing it because our view on it's not going to be impacted by that at all. I write my own commentary, so that way there's no copyright issues there as well. So we're going to look again at Daniel 3. Now, when I read, I'm going to look away to my other computer so that I can read it. All right. So now let's get going then with tonight's Bible study. Again, the topic is non-coercible faith. All right. Non-coercible faith. In other words, coerce means basically intimidate. Okay. This is that non-intimidating faith. You can't intimidate this faith. All right. Ivala. Another word you might want to use for this type of faith can't be, this is non-shaky faith. Okay. The hokey doke doesn't get this faith. You follow it? So we're talking about non-coercible faith. Now, when we talk about it, one thing you want to note with non-coercible faith is the following. This is not necessarily a new branch of faith as it is taking your faith to an elevated level. You get it? So it's not just finding this new branch of faith. It's taking the faith you have to a new level. All right? And when we talk about non-coercible faith, and I want to stick to that as my topic tonight, you're going to discover that non-coercible faith, we're talking about non-coercible in your lifestyle of faith. You got that? So when we talk tonight about non-coercible faith, you're going to hear us talk about lifestyle, non-coercible faith in your lifestyle faith, because that's the faith that Daniel 3rd chapter illustrates in the story of what we've called the 3 Hebrew boys. So we'll call them 3 Hebrew men or 3 Hebrew individuals, whoever these men were. Okay. So we have them. And so let me just tell you a little bit of the story. So I have to read it all. Then I'll pick up at a particular point. We find here that 3 Hebrew men, they were captive, under King Nebuchadnezzar. So here they are under the king, again, a foreign king. He was an enemy king, enemy of Israel. and he's captured them. And now the king decided he would honor himself by having a big shindig with an image of himself and playing music and the whole bit. And essentially he told everybody that you had to bow to him. That's the bottom line. So everyone follow? I'm paraphrasing a little bit here just to paint the picture. You can read it in detail, and it'll be really close to what I said. Okay, you got it? So I'm just paraphrasing. So here it is. They want him to bow to the king wanted the Israelites to bow to his lifestyle. You get it? That's what they wanted. Okay. But three of them said, we're not going to do that. Okay. We're not going to bow to your lifestyle. And he told them, say, when you hear the music playing, I want you to everybody bow down to the golden image. Okay. All right. All right. You follow it? Oh, you didn't get that yet. All right. I almost said something like, okay, you know how it is. You can resist a lot of things, but if your favorite music come on and the right person around, you get it. So he said, basically, he said, don't bow. He said, don't bow to the golden image. You follow it? All right. Easier said than done, except that in this case, he said, if you don't die, I'll just kill you. That's it. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to just kill you. I'm going to torture you. I'm going to let everybody know. I'm going to make an example out of you before everybody. You follow? So this is the challenge. So the challenge really is your level of faith is your faith at such a level that when a challenge of your lifestyle comes against you, can you stand and hold on to that faith? Can you still demonstrate faith against your lifestyle when it's directly attacking your lifestyle? It's not pretending, it's coming after your lifestyle. You get it? And that's a question, and that's what we're going to challenge you on tonight to take a look at. All right? So with that, so you got it. So now here's the reply that the king's going to get from the Hebrew men. All right? All right. So Nebuchadnezzar's men told him that there's these three, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that they are not bowing. Okay? And so once this is reported to the king, said, well, we played this music enough for them to bow now. Okay? We've had them under our standards long enough for them to bow now. We've had you, we've been pressing on you about many social issues and things. By now, you ought to give up your way of faith and come over to our way. That's what he said. So after they didn't, he got mad. So let's pick up at verse 13 here and start to read. So everyone follow the story. All right? Said, furious with rage, Nebuchadnezzar summoned Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So these men were brought before the king. Now, guess what? This is the king's right. This was the time they were under captivity. The king had a right to summon people anytime he got ready. And Nebuchadnezzar said to them, is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you will not serve my gods or worship the image of God that I have set up? Now, when this time, I'm going to give you one more time. Okay? I'm going to give you one more time to sleep with me. No, that slipped out. I didn't mean to say sleep with me or something like that. Or smoke that. Okay. I almost said smoke that joint for non-medicinal purposes. I got it. Okay. Anyway, or something else. Okay. I'm not trying to pick, by the way, if you know, you can pick any favorite you want. Okay. I'm not trying to pick on any one particular one of those, just came to mind. All right. So here it is. Said, I'm going to give you one more chance. Okay. All right. All right, I'm going to give you one more chance to party with me when you know full well you go to Bible study on that night. Okay. Oh, no, that's not what's read here. Anyway, let me read exactly what it said. Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you will not serve my gods and images that are set up? Now, when you hear the sound of the flute and the harp, the pipes, and the music, if you're ready to fall down and worship him, it'll be very good. But if you don't worship my God, you'll be thrown immediately into the blazing fire. Then what God will be able to rescue from the hands. Here's what you have to understand. Those who are not of your faith will never understand the power of the God you serve. They just will not. I don't care how many examples they see. I don't care how many times you speak in tongues. I don't care how many times you pray, you preach, whatever. Those who are not with God and do not have the same faith as you will never understand the power of your faith. Therefore, how can you expect them to understand the commitment of that level of faith? Their commitment is not the same as your commitment when it comes to that level of faith. And you have to come to grips with that. The real question is, do you have non-coercible faith in the face of that attack? All right. Let me finish reading the scripture, then we'll come back and make some more comments. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to him, King Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to defend ourselves before this matter. He said, we don't have to argue with you about this. Some of you argue too much with people about your faith. Stop arguing. Just keep living. Don't argue the faith. Live the faith. Somebody write that down. Don't argue the faith. Live the faith. Tag that. Hashtag it. Do something with it. All right. Here we go. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, if we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. No disrespect. Look, they said it with respect to the enemy's authority and their enemy's position. That's why they call him your majesty. Nothing wrong with that. That's the title. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve the God that you worship your golden image. He said, regardless of what happened to us, we are not giving up our lifestyle. We chose a lifestyle consistent with the faith that we believe, not someone else believe, not someone has changed and set up according to their standards, the way they want to do it, but according to lifestyle. Our best reading of the word of God has shown us the lifestyle we believe we should live, and that's what we're going to live by. Someone doesn't agree with it, that's them. They have a right, okay? But they decided we're not going to change ours. And that is a position people of faith need to take. When you're sure about your faith and sure about where you're standing, don't allow somebody to coerce you into changing it. You get it? You hold on to your faith just like they're holding on to whatever they believe. Okay, so what happened? Then Nebuchadnezzar was furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and his attitude toward them changed. He ordered the furnace heated 7 times hotter than usual. Now listen, that's mad, isn't it? And that's how the enemy is. The enemy will get so mad at you, he'll do something ridiculous. Heating it 7 times hotter. It was already hot enough. Hot is hot. How much hotter does hot have to be hotter? You get it? So that's what the enemy do. So what's he doing here? He's doing that to intimidate them. He is expecting that when they see it getting hotter, watch this now, that they're going to melt. They're going to cave in. So he's heating it hotter, saying, okay, you see, I'm heating it even hotter for you. So the enemy will use that as the intimidation. He's already told you to do it. You didn't do it. Now he will intimidate you. He'll say, well, I'm not going to sit with you at the lunch table tomorrow. Well, I'm not going to invite you anymore to the movie. Well, see if I'm going to remove you from my Facebook. You're no longer my BFF. You get it? All right. He's trying to intimidate them by heating it hotter. It's ridiculous, but he's doing it. And he commanded some of the strongest soldiers. Now there it is again. Now you don't need the strongest one to do it. Intimidation. You get it? The enemy will keep intimidating you to the end. Therefore, you have to keep standing to after their end. Let me say that again. The enemy will intimidate you till the end. Therefore, you must learn to stand after their end. And that's what non-coercible faith will let you do. Non-coercible faith will let you stand after the enemy has stopped. You'll be the last man standing. You'll be wide earth at the OK Corral. You will be it. You'll be the person that makes it when all else. But you have to stand after their end. Okay? All right, let's move along here. So these men wearing robes and turbans and other clothes were thrown into the blazing fire. The king commanded them. The king's command was so urgent, and the furnace was so hot that it killed the soldiers who took them to the furnace. Now that's hot, isn't it? Now here's what's so interesting about this. Now somebody should have saw God working then. The soldier burned up, but they were able to cast Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the furnace. But that's the way the enemy is. The enemy will be his own worst enemy. Praise the Lord. He will see God working, but will not even then acknowledge God at work. The enemy will see that you will heal miraculously from your sickness. and still won't acknowledge that God did it. The enemy will see that you were miraculously delivered from the automobile accident and still won't acknowledge it. That's just the way the enemy is. Don't sweat it. No pun intended. All right. So, all right. So kill the men. And these 3 men were firmly tied, fell into the blaze of furnace. You know, this is almost hilarious. They still have them tied, thrown into the furnace. Now, what good did that do? This is, again, the enemy doing everything to intimidate them. But here's the other thing it's doing. The enemy was not only intimidating Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were intimidating anyone who's watching what's happening to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You get it? All right? And that's what the enemy will do today. The enemy is not only trying to intimidate your church, he's trying to intimidate anybody watching your church. The enemy is not trying to intimidate your ministry. He's trying to intimidate your ministry and anyone watching your ministry. The enemy is not trying to intimidate your children. He's trying to intimidate you as you watch your children. He's trying to see that since he's got your children, and by the way, the enemy doesn't care whether whose children he gets, whether he's got your children or not, he wants to intimidate you too. So the enemy wants to intimidate not only those he's after, but those that watch who he's after. And some of those the others that are watching don't have the non-coercible faith, and he knows he'll get them. So he will use even your non-coercible faith to go after them, which is all the more reason you have to come out of the fire. You who have non-coercible faith must make it out of the fire as a testimony to the enemy that your God is not only able, but he will do it. Somebody say, won't he do it? Type it on there. Won't he do it? All right, here we go. Watch this. 24. Then Nebuchadnezzar leaped up to his feet in amazement, and he asked the advisor, were not there 3 men who were thrown into the fire? They replied, certainly. They could count, miscount. He said, look, I see 4 men walking in the fire, unbound, unharmed, and the 4th looks like the Son of God's. Notice he said the Son of God's. He knew there was something miraculous about the 4th person in there. And the same thing in your life. That 4th person in your life, all right? Watch this now. 4 tends to represent the number of trials, by the way, okay, in the Bible, all right? All right, so watch this, okay? Watch this. The 4th person there, he's going to be the one that takes the trials, not you. You get it? That 4th person is taking the trials, not you. So when you go into this situation, you have to go and say, I'm not taking it, because he is. If the enemy has any question about what's going to happen to you, say, see my friend. You get it? If the enemy wants to know how you're going to make it, don't argue. Say, see my friend. All right? If the enemy wonders how you made it through, tell him, see my friend. You get it? That's non-coercible faith. It's the faith that you point to the one that does the delivering and you get delivered. Non-coercible faith lets you point to the one doing delivering as you are getting delivered. You're the one get delivered. It points to the deliverer, you get the deliverance. All right? So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out the fire. There was no smoke on them. The robes were all intact. Didn't even smell like they had ever been in the fiery furnace. And that's what will happen to you when you come through it. When people look at you, they'll see that you were unharmed by the circumstance. Now watch this. Now, while they were in the furnace, the people could not experience the testimony. You get it? As far as they could tell, except the king looked in there, he wouldn't have known what was happening in there. Here's the point. Everybody doesn't need to know how you came through the fire. All they need is to see that you did come out of the fire. You get it? You follow? Okay. God will deliver you from the fire. All right, let's see. All right, I think I probably read. Let's finish here with a few more comments on this. So we're talking about this thing we call non-coercible faith. All right? And again, we point out to you, non-coercible faith is not new faith, but is your faith at an elevated level. and at such a level that you value your lifestyle before God more than you value anything else. This is faith when you hang on to your lifestyle. This is the lifestyle you've chosen for God, and you hang on to it and you refuse to let anyone else change you. All right? You see, non-coercible faith, let's make a few points here about it, is the kind of faith that comes when the enemy purposely attacks you because of your faith. You're going to need non-coercible faith when that enemy attacks you simply because you're walking by faith. That's the only reason they were attacked. Nothing else. They were otherwise nice people. The enemy otherwise liked you. Okay? Except you won't get drunk with them. Okay? The enemy otherwise likes you. Except you won't sleep with them. And I'm not talking to the singles yet. I'm talking to the married ones. Oh, that slipped out. I apologize. Okay? But that's non-coercible faith. Only attacks because of your faith. You get it? And it attacks your faith because it's clear evidence. There's clear evidence that you're walking with God. All right? You get it? All right? So, not everybody has this level of faith. So let's just put it on the line and be clear about that. Not everybody has this level of faith. I don't know whether everyone that's going to listen to this lesson on the line tonight has that level of faith. But I want to let you in. I want to tell you something. At some point in your life, if you're walking with God, you're going to need it. So I recommend that you get it sooner than later. All right? But the only way you get it is to choose to walk with God and never look back on the things you gave up in order to have that walk. Because I want to tell you, some of the things you look back on will look pretty good. You don't know that's the truth. Some of the things you gave up, they were fun. You did enjoy them. Okay? But they were not the things that were conducive to a lifestyle of walking with God. Now, let me just say this also. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy yourself and can't have a fun life. For goodness sake, people, that is not what I'm saying. Okay? I am not bored with my lifestyle. You get it? There are enough things I can do, okay, that keeps me plenty happy and pleased with walking with God. And you could do the same thing. All right? Okay? All right, a few more points we want to make here. Oh, yeah, one of the things I want to note here. So therefore, the precursor, the forerunner, what you need before you get to non-coercible faith is simply stable faith. So you need that stable faith. So you want to make sure your faith is stable before you come on attack. All right? You get it? Mm-hmm. Because the enemy definitely wants you because of your testimony. Now, with that, let me give you a definition then. Okay? Talk long enough here. Let me give you, those of you who've been with me know I like to give you a sentence definition here of what we call non-coercible faith. All right? Again, we're talking about that faith that not everybody has. It's faith at another level. It's faith that keeps your lifestyle intact. When the enemy purposely comes after your lifestyle. Does everyone follow that? All right? Now, he may come sideways after your lifestyle. For example, you're used to going to church. Okay? He may put a disease in your foot or your knee. All right? In that case, you might have to tell him, put me in the van and roll me on up in there. You get it? Okay? All right? You may have some other sickness that the enemy came after you and attack your body with. But you need to decree to that enemy, that's not going to stop me from enjoying my family, from enjoying my friends, from getting to church. All right? I might not be able to sing in the choir, but I can sit there and listen to the choir sing. You get it? All right. So here's your definition. Ready to go? And by the way, if you follow along at Angie Jackson, she makes a lot of notes here. We have a couple of other daughters online here who are going to do a fine job collecting our notes. I want to let you know we appreciate each and every one of you. All right, let's take a look here then. Non-coercible faith. Revis definition of non-coercible faith. Ready? Non-coercible faith is faith that stabilizes a lifestyle. Is faith that stabilizes. You got that? Non-coercible faith is faith that stabilizes a lifestyle commitment to God. Non-coercible faith is faith that stabilizes a lifestyle commitment to God. And I apologize occasionally, I look away from the camera. Non-coercible faith is faith that establishes a lifestyle commitment to God, even in the face of threatening opposition, of intense earthly power, earthly position, or earthly popularity. Non-coercible faith is faith that stabilizes a lifestyle commitment to God, even in the face of threatening opposition, of intense earthly power, position, and popularity. So in other words, when you find the popularity of the world coming after you, you need non-coercible faith. The popularity of the world says you can't be healed. If you're not careful, they'll have you measured up for a black outfit. But non-coercible faith say you're not leaving till God's through with you. Somebody say hallelujah. Hashtag me their terror. Okay, you got it? So don't you settle for a black suit too soon. Let your non-coercible faith believe that you can be healed. So in the face of that, the earthly powers say, the report says that you're done. But God says you're not finished yet. You get it? And that's what happened today with many of our young people today. They face this intense pressure, peer pressure, bullying, and everything else coming from everywhere. Well, if you don't do it for me, she will, he will, or they will, or somebody will, and they yield to it, and they yield to intense pressure. I want to encourage you tonight, hang on to your faith. Refuse to yield simply because of the pressure, popularity, power, position. All these things are the types of things that the enemy will use to come after your lifestyle. And again, we're talking about non-coercible faith that helps you to establish a lifestyle to keep you walking and safe in the direction that God has established. All right. So let me give you a few more pointers here for your notes. Because what you'll find with non-coercible faith is your faith. It's when your faith will be tested. Okay. And so you'll need non-coercible faith when the test comes. Okay. All right. So here's when you need it. I'm going to give you 4 reasons you need it. And 4 times you need it. Here are 4 times you need it. 1, when you have a clear record of a public faith-filled lifestyle. You need non-coercible faith. When you have a clear public record, okay, of a faith-filled lifestyle. When you have a clear record, okay, of a public faith-filled lifestyle, you need non-coercible faith because the enemy is going to come after you. Again, I apologize for missing the camera. The enemy is going to come after you when everybody knows that you're holding on to your faith. The word gets around that you won't bend, you won't yield. The enemy is going to come after you. You're going to need non-coercible faith. That's 1 time. Another time when you'll need it. 2nd time. You'll need it when you're in the face of repeated intimidation. In the face of repeated intimidation, you need non-coercible faith. Because people get wore down, you get tired. Day after day, the enemy is after you. And that's what happened with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The king was furious, heating the furnace hotter, tying the hands, stronger men. Repeated intimidation. You'll need it. That's the 2nd time you'll need it. 3rd time you'll need it. It's when there's sure destruction against your spirit and your body. Okay? When there's sure destruction against your spirit and your body. There was an opportunity to destroy their spirit had they walked away from the faith. And there was an opportunity to destroy their body by throwing them in the furnace. God will not let either one happen to you if you hold on to your non-coercible faith. Somebody say, hold on to it. All right. Number fourth reason, in time you need it, is when there's a sure possibility of losing your godly lifestyle. When there is a sure possibility of losing your godly lifestyle. And might I add, a pretty good probability that you might give in. That's when you need it. So there you have it tonight. We've been talking tonight about non-coercible faith. That is faith, not a new faith, but it's faith taken to a new level. You see, the enemy wants to rob you of your lifestyle so they can rob you of your testimony of the greatness and goodness of God in your life. Therefore, it's important that you hold on to the faith and refuse to give in, refuse to allow the intimidation to get you, because God has already won the battle for you. You're coming out of the fire. You're coming out of the fire. God bless you. This is Dr. Anthony Revis, Faith Ministry Church, Midland, Michigan, USA. Enjoy the rest of your evening.